Okay, Mataji.
Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Jnanajnasakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha.
I offer my most humble obeisances to my spiritual master who has opened my eyes which were blinded by ignorance with the light of knowledge.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pasachadeshitari.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatyadesatarine.
Chaitanya Prabhu Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Govinda.
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Another 2 times, is it?
Can Mataji.
Okay. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna. Sing Mataji together. Hare Hare.
Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Sharmila Mataji ki jai. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Okay, let's move to our lesson today. As usual, Gita Mahatmya is from Vaishnava Tantriya Sara. Devaki Nandana Krishna Gita Patena Tushyati Yata Navede Danena Yagyatita Vritadibihi. The son of Devaki, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, cannot be satisfied by anyone's study of the Vedas, charity, sacrifice, pilgrimage, or vows as much as he is satisfied by the devotional recitation of the Gita. So today I want to take you all to Tirupati. This is ISKCON Tirupati. This is exactly at the foot of the Tirumala, the mountain, right? All right, this is the front view. The deity there is Shri Radha Govinda. All right, they also have Ashtasakis like the Mayapur temple. They're very beautiful. I've been once. Very beautiful. All right, so this is another festival. They have a lot of fruits here. I don't know. I wonder what festival is that. There's a lot of fruits here. It's a fruit festival. All right, they have Goshala. Goshala means cow farm, cow protection program. And they also have school. It's called Bhakti Vedanta Swami Mission School, and they provide free food. Yes. All right, so that's about it for ISKCON Tirupati. And then they have Annadanam and meal, afternoon meal, a lot of programs. Okay. So if you go there, if you go to Tirupati, I would like to request you all to drop by this Tirupati. You know why? They also have laddu, and that laddu is exactly 100% taste same as the Tirupati laddu. So you go there, usually when somebody is going to Tirupati, you know, sometimes very limited, right? In Tirupati laddu, I say, please drop by ISKCON Tirupati and get some laddu for me. All right, so it's very delicious. Okay. Okay, praise for the spiritual teachers. Om Jnanamiradasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vigna Vinasha Narsimha Iti Namine. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay. The program is dedicated to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. At the end of today's lesson, I will speak about some biography of Prabhupada, his journey. Okay, so Gita Mahatmya, Rasini Mataji. Hare Krishna.
संसारसागरं घोरं तर्तुं इच्छति यो नरः गीतानवं समसन्निधौ cross over the ghastly ocean of material suffering can do so very easily by taking shelter of the boat of the Bhagavad Gita.
Okay, thank you. A person who wants to cross over the ghastly ocean of material suffering. Samsara, Sagar. Sagar means ocean, samsara means material suffering. Goram, Gora. Goram means gore. English is gore, right? Ghore. So it's ghastly. So we can cross this ghastly ocean of material suffering by easily by taking shelter of the boat of the Bhagavad. Okay, so only by undivided devotional service one can cross over the ocean of birth and death, like reading the Bhagavad Gita, using the knowledge we get from the Bhagavad Gita, the wisdom. Okay, so we are entering chapter 15. The chapter 15's title is the Yoga of the Supreme Person. In Sanskrit, it is called Purushottama Yoga. Okay, Purushottama means Bhagavan, right? Not Brahma, not Paramatma. Purushottama Yoga, the knowledge about the Supreme Person. All right, so what are we going to learn from here is, what is the goal of Vedic knowledge? Krishna will tell this at the end of this chapter. The ultimate purpose of Vedic knowledge is to detach oneself from the entanglement of the material world and to understand Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? That's the short form, okay? One who understands Krishna's supreme identity surrenders unto him and engages in his devotional service. All right, so since we started our Jnana Yoga section, we started with chapter 13. So chapter 13, do you remember the difference between Ishvara and Jiva? All the body, the field, the knower of the field, there's another two knowers, and then the Prakriti, and then there is an enjoyer, there is an us as the enjoyer, and then there is supreme enjoyer. Okay, the knowledge, the object of the knowledge. Okay, so after what we learned in chapter 13 was all the 24 elements, the interactions, how our interaction using these 24 elements with the material nature, it is creating a bondage. And how exactly this material nature binds us, we learned that yesterday. It is through the three modes. How exactly? Again, through the conditioning. This is also called binding force. So do you remember what is the binding force under the goodness, passion, and ignorance? What else can you remember? The example of people that we saw, right? How actually it binds them. And then what is the destination of people who die in these different modes? Okay, so that's what we learned yesterday. Three modes of material nature. All right, so now how do we connect chapter 14 and 15 is this. Krishna said at the end of chapter 14, one can cross these three modes of material nature when they surrender to me or when they take up devotional service. Okay, but to take up this pure devotional service, okay, there are two devotional service. One is regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. Another one is Bhava Bhakti. Bhava Bhakti, remember, in chapter 12, we saw the first class and second class, right? First class is the pure devotional service. That's called Bhava Bhakti. But those who cannot take up, like we all, right? We are taking up prescribed. Yeah, it's a typo, Mataji. Sorry, Krishna. Very good. Yeah, it's Krishna actually. It's like this. All right. Sometimes we spell K-R-S-N-A. So this is definitely a typo. All right. So how do we come out from this? It's through detachment. Okay. When you detached from this material world, this material nature, then we transcend to pure devotional service. Remember that the soul is covered by the subtle body. We have the false ego and the intelligence and then mind. We have to shed all over that to transcend to the spiritual world. So that is pure, that is purity. Okay, so to attain that pure devotion to Krishna, we need to be detached from the world. This is what we are going to learn in this chapter by using a tree as an example. Okay, so Krishna will begin the chapter 15 by explaining the need for the detachment. So he will use the metaphor. Metaphor means it's an example. It's another word for example. He will use a banyan tree. And that's the beginning, the first 5 slokas. After that, the rest of the chapter is about understanding, learning about the Purushottam, the Supreme Person. This chapter is very, very short, only 20 slokas. All right. Okay. So this is the overview. Krishna will explain how to detach from this material using the banyan tree as an example. Why we are here? Because our desire to enjoy this material world. All right, so we want to detach from that. Okay, then Krishna will talk about transmigration. This one you all also very familiar already in chapter 2. Remember, changing from body to body. This is called transmigration. How this our interaction with this material nature is letting us to transmigrate from body to body endlessly. And then we will learn Krishna's position as the maintainer and what does this Vedanta Sutra is saying. Okay, so this is what we will see. Okay, so this is the tree. Let's read first. Shalini Mataji.
Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Urdhva Moolam Adha Sakam Ashvatam Prahur Avyayam Chandamsi Yasha Padnani Yastam Vedasa Vedavid. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its root upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns, and who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So you see here, this is the usual tree that we always see. So Krishna is saying there is an imperishable banyan tree. All right, imperishable banyan tree. What is he referring is he's giving a comparison with the tree in spiritual world, the spiritual tree. So he's saying the spiritual tree is exactly the opposite. It's upside down. So how do you visualize? You can visualize like this. The root is up, the leaves are down, the branch all pointing this way. This is what we always see. All right, so he's saying there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down like that, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. Okay, so we will see this. And one who understands this concept, Krishna is saying, he is the knower of the Vedas. So, Urdhva Moolam. Urdhva Moolam means the roots are up. Okay, Adha Sakam means the branches are down. So this is the least that we can expect from a tree, right? So this is how Lord Krishna is beginning the 15th chapter by giving the example of banyan tree. He wants to show us what is this attachment, all right, and how to be detached. So yesterday we learned about the 3 modes. So it's got something very close to do with these 3 modes. Okay, and then in this chapter, Krishna will say, using this tree as an example, he will tell us how we are all entangled in these modes of nature, like the leaves here. All right, it is like being somewhere within this banyan tree. So if you know the banyan tree, Arasam Maram, right, banyan tree, it grows very, very big, and nobody knows like where it will begin, where it will end. All right, so Krishna is saying the leaves here are like Vedic hymns, and one knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. So Vedas is considered of Vedic hymns, right? So that's what he's trying to say. Okay, what it means to the Vedas? It means one who knows how to cut off the attachment to this material world. All right, this is the tree material world. What Krishna is saying is the tree that we are in now, this material world tree, is actually a inverted or reflection of the spiritual tree. Spiritual world, actually, spiritual world. This is our material world. This is our spiritual world. So we try to understand that first, all right? And the leaves are the enjoyments. Okay? All right. So one who is engaged in fruitive acts, there is no end to this banyan tree. All right, because the root is like going deeper and deeper and deeper. You'll never know where the root is ending. So it reflects our desired to enjoy. So the root is reflecting that. All right, and because of that rooted desire to enjoy, we have so much of enjoyments, actions, activities, and in that tree we wander from branch to branch. Okay, so this is a reflection on the water. So this one I'll zoom out in a while. Okay, so actually here Krishna is showing the material world is like a banyan tree, which is a reflection of the spiritual world. Okay, so this is how we are looking our normal tree. This is our material tree. But Krishna is saying, giving this example. Okay, I just put a picture here to actually, help you to visualize. Now, remember the photo I sent in the group. So if you can see this is fine. If you can't, then you have to open your WhatsApp. All right. So you can see here where it starts from. When you terbalikan the tree, the root actually starts from here. Who is sitting here? Who can see? Who's sitting on the top? Where the root ends? Brahma. Who can see who's sitting here? Yes. So the creation. Correct. Yeah, Lord Brahma. Because why is it seated here? Because the creation starts from here. All right. Creates through Brahma. He put it. Brahma is in charge. So this is the root. Of course, above here is Krishna himself. This is the spiritual sky. Now, this one, you can see all the elevated beings are here. This is, you can see Indra here, all the devas are here. Okay, so root of the tree is Brahma. From there, all the formations took place. So this is a very deep concept, comparing material world to a banyan tree. Now, we can, this is the desires, if you look at this, right? This one. So we actually have to cut off this. All right, so I will show you each and every part of this. Okay, here. Now it all starts from here, the roots. The roots bind us to the fruitive activities. Okay, the leaves are the enjoyments. This is the material world. Huh? Imagine this tree is the material world. Somebody's mic. All right. The branches are nourished by the three modes of material nature. So when I'm explaining this, I hope you can relate our chapter 13 and chapter 14 here. Okay, that's why we are here. You can relate all these are interaction of the elements that we learn in 13 and 14. All right. The twigs are the sense objects. Remember, we have working senses, sense objects, senses, all that. All right. And these are the fruits of our activities. You have fruits on the tree, right? So similarly, these are the fruits of our activity. These are the results of our activities. Okay, why Krishna say the Vedic hymns are like, the leaves are like Vedic hymns? Because you're supposed to, in the inverted image, right? You're supposed to use that Vedic hymns to elevate ourselves. How the leaves going to elevate us? Because the beauty of the tree lies in the leaves, right? So people will be naturally attracted to the Vedic injunctions, because although Vedic injunctions are recommending enjoyment, means if you want to achieve something, you do this. You do these prayers to achieve this. You do this yagya to achieve this. So like this, the Vedas are giving us manual guideline how to achieve things in a regulated way, instead of going through doing engaging abominable activities. So this is Vedas. Vedas are handbooks. Okay, so like this, a person supposed to use this Vedas to elevate oneself. However, they entangle it with these modes of material nature, the enjoyments, the sense object. All right. Okay. All right. So entanglement continues until we slash this tree. So how to get out? This is the application, right? This material world is like a tree, all right? And then we need to get out of this tree. So how do you get out of a tree? How do you cut down a strongly rooted tree? How do we cut down? What do we use? How do we cut down the strongly rooted tree? The tree of attachments, enjoyments. Anybody? What do you use to cut down a tree? Eh, how do we cut down a tree? Cut with what? Axe. Okay. Axe. Yes. All right.
Chainsaw.
Chainsaw boleh juga. Okay. So traditionally we use axe to cut down a strongly rooted tree. That is to cut down a literal tree. So how are we going to cut down this material world tree, the attachments that we have to this material nature? What do we use to cut it down? Just try to guess. What is that axe? The opposite of attachment is? All right, let's see the some answers. Yes, detachment. Weapon of detachment. Now, is this sufficient to have an axe to cut down a tree? What do you need? What kind of axe do you need?
A forceful one.
Forceful, all right. What else? The axe itself, how it should be, what condition? A sharp one, fantastic. So for our application, how do we sharpen that? How do we sharpen our weapon of detachment?
Chanting.
With what?
Chanting.
Okay. Where the chanting comes from, Mataji? Where is it coming from? Why do we chant? Practice, mind, apa lagi? Where all coming from? Okay, guidelines, pretty close. What have you been learning? This word always come out.
Spiritual practice.
Devotional service, spiritual practice, all this coming under what, Mataji? Prabhu.
Spiritual practice.
Yoga, is it?
Okay, what else, Mataji? It's a big umbrella. What is that? Okay, bhakti, apa lagi? Not the one that I'm looking for. Bhakti yoga. Okay, what are all these? What information we are using? Starts with K.
Karma.
Why are we for? No.
Krishna conscious.
Okay, apa lagi? All these are not wrong. But these are the details. Yes, Lata Mataji. Sharpened with knowledge. All right. We want to cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Right. The weapon that we're going to use is detachment. And this detachment, it should be sharpened with knowledge. The sharper the axe, the easier to cut the tree. All right. This is our only way out. Okay. So this is the point. Okay, do we want to enjoy the real thing, the real spiritual world, or we want to just enjoy the inverted reflection of the spiritual world? Okay, do we want the real car or the reflection of a car? We want the real money or the reflection of the money? So this is the knowledge. If we know this, then we will be convinced that yes, I need to cut off this tree. I need to cut off. Then from there, we need to move. Okay, when you have this knowledge, so what happens to a person who has this knowledge? That is what Krishna explained. Knowledge of spiritual. Yes, knowledge can be matter and spirit. This is where it starts, where your search starts. Who am I? Your step starts from there. Who am I? Your first knowledge is, I am the soul, I am not the body. And then all the knowledge that we have learned along the Bhagavad Gita, the recent one are those elements that we learned. This field is functioning and interacting with the nature through that 24 elements that we learned. And all the interactions is giving us so many kind of impressions, feelings and expressions, and thus we are continuously entangled. So these are all knowledge. It's like a chain reaction, but it starts with knowledge. All right, knowledge starts with that asking who am I. Every time we have to ask who am I, and it's also the one of the main topic of Bhagavad Gita, which is the soul. So first understanding is we are the soul, we are not the body. Therefore it is wise to enjoy the real thing, the spiritual nature, not the reflection of the spiritual nature. Okay, so this is I don't know, this is a philosopher, Carl Jung. Who knows this? Okay, he's a psychologist. So there's one time the psychologist Carl Jung, he's also quoting chapter 15. The idea that man is like unto an inverted tree seems to have been current in bygone ages. So he also supports that. All right, behold us, not an earthly but a heavenly planet. So what he was trying to say is spiritual. All right, heavenly plant. Okay, all right. So it's like it's an universal knowledge. Psychology course. Have you seen this, Mataji? This Carl Jung, is he really a prominent person in psychology field?
Yeah, Carl Jung actually, he's actually a great psychologist, but I never learned about Bhagavad Gita through him. Like he never mentioned.
Yeah, maybe you can help us to verify this, because it seems to be like quoted on like a famous leaders quoting Bhagavad Gita. So I got it from there. So maybe you can check it out. If he really say, sometimes they say Albert Einstein says this and that, but we don't know whether he really said that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, Mataji. Okay. Okay. So now next is a story about the reflection. Okay. You like story, right? Okay. Let's go. So there was a the story is here. So there was a king and queen walking by one time, and then the queen was wearing this beautiful diamond necklace. Attracted to the necklace, a monkey comes and steals the diamond necklace from the queen's neck. It ran and climbed down a tree. Then it got missing. Right? It went missing. Story time. Okay, I know some of you commented, I like more stories. Okay, whenever the context allows, then we'll definitely bring in stories. Sometimes I put in my own stories also. All right, so it went missing. So the queen, of course, begged the king, this is my favorite necklace, please get it back for me. All right, so he deployed so many people to look for the necklace. So everybody was looking for the necklace. And then somebody saw the necklace in the river, in the water. So people started jumping because the reward is waiting for them. All right, everyone could see the necklace, but none of them could retrieve it. They couldn't see it. All right, everyone can see the image and tried their best to get the necklace, but failed. All right, so this was going on for some time. So there was a sadhu sitting on a tree, under a tree, and he was observing this has been happening for some time, and he realized what is actually happening. So he went over and said, so what is happening? And then they said, oh, there is a beautiful diamond necklace, the queen lost, and we can see that it's in the river, but when we jumped into it and we couldn't find it. All right, so the sage said, all of you are fools. That is not the real necklace you are seeing. The necklace you are seeing in the river is just the image of the necklace hanging from the banyan tree. So that means there's a tree just on the bank of the river, and the necklace is hanging because the monkey went there, isn't it? So he left it there. So the reflection can be seen on the river, the water, and everybody thought that is the real necklace. So everybody jumping into that. So we are also doing that. We are running after the reflection, because we are seeking the enjoyment, right? So we dive deeper like that, but you'll never find the true happiness because it's hanging outside. All right. So the monkey actually put the real necklace up on the tree. What was seen in the water was the reflection of the necklace. So that's a short story. So material world is reflection of the real world. In spiritual world, you have happiness, the true happiness. But what happens is we are lost looking for the happiness in this material world. So everything is temporary here.
Excuse me, Mataji.
All right, we keep on.
Excuse me.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
Yes,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. No, I just want to know, you're talking about reflection, right? What do you mean by reflection in the modern world, actually? What are you comparing the reflection to in the modern world?
Okay, if the tree, okay, the material world is like a banyan tree.
Exactly. Yeah,
okay, so the leaves are the enjoyments, and our desires are the roots. All right. So the root of our desire is like so deep, just like the root of banyan tree. You will never find where it's going, where it is ending. So correspondingly, our enjoyment is also huge. It's a lot. So from branch to branch, we are jumping to seek enjoyment. Okay. In spiritual world, the root stops at the creation where Lord Brahma is. Everything starts from there. And once you surpass that, you are going to spiritual world. All right. But in material world, we are going like forever. We are searching and searching and searching. That is because the attachment that we have. So that's why the banyan tree is given as a metaphor for material world. Is that okay, Mataji?
Yeah,
It's
but-
like the it's never ending. It's
ending.
huge.
Okay, so the reflection is that the desires that are not satisfied, is it?
Yes, that is the application. Right? From the example, we want to apply. So what is the application from banyan tree? Is that our desire is never satisfied.
Okay.
That's why we keep searching, because we are naturally happy and we are seeking for that happiness. And material world is not the place where we can find true happiness. That's the point.
Okay.
Okay, Mataji. Okay. All right. So here, that is the answer here. Real happiness is actually in the spiritual world. When we go back home, back to Godhead. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, it is also said here, we keep on jumping into the material world deeper and deeper for temporary happiness. Sometimes we are happy with this, sometimes we are happy with that, right? Okay, so that's the end of the story. So material world is the reflection of the real happiness that we find in spiritual world. So this is to show that there is something beyond this material world where you can find real happiness. So this is the knowledge that we are getting. Krishna is trying to teach using this metaphor. So this is one knowledge. Okay. All right. So we move to point 8. Sharmila Mataji.
Krishna. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Sariram Yat Avapnoti Yakchapi Uktramat Teshvara Ritvaitani Samyat Ayur Gandhan Ivasayat Strotram Chaksusparshanam Cha Rasanam Grahanam Mevacha Adhishtaya Manuschayam Visayanupasevate. The living entity in the material world carries his different conceptions of life from one body to another, as the air carries aromas. Thus, he takes one kind of body and again quits it to take another. The living entity, thus taking another gross body, obtains a certain type of ear, eye, tongue, nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind. He thus enjoys a particular set of sense objects. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So here, Krishna is giving 2 points here. All right, he continues to give knowledge. All right, so you can see this line here. This is transmigration. All right, this is a process of transmigration. Okay, if you remember chapter 13, always I want to go back to chapter 13 because it's all interrelated. So you remember there's a soul, and the soul is covered by a subtle body. So subtle body is made of mind, intelligence, and false ego. So remember when I said when we die, we shed the material body, which is called gross body in another word. Okay, so when we move on to another body, the soul goes with the subtle body to take another body. And how the next body is determined is based on the subtle body, mind, intelligence, false ego, all our impressions, all our activities, our consciousness. So based on that, we will take up another body. So we will continue to do this until, all right, you see here, when I say when we carry on the consciousness or conceptions, it's just like the air carries aromas, right? Of course, not everybody can remember everything exceptional, but the consciousness, certain consciousness will be carried on, like air carries aromas. Okay? So when this subtle body will be shed together, when all of these are purified. So to purify this is the application of full devotional service, full bhakti yoga. Because we otherwise all the activity that we are doing to calm the mind, to improve our intelligence, these are all symptomatic relief only. But we're doing something for the soul, all right? We need to purify the subtle body. So the soul together with the subtle body will move on to another body. Okay, so he takes one kind of body and again quits it to take another. So it's like a circle, it goes on and on and on and on. Okay, so the next one Krishna is saying here, when the living body, when the living body takes another gross body, it obtains a certain type of senses based on the previous impressions. That's why you can see sometimes some birds they are really good seeing in the dark. Like a cat, it can see in the dark. Or some animals have very powerful sense theory. So all this because of the impressions they have cultivated during their life. Okay, I'm slowing down because my internet connection showing unstable. Alright, and this kind of animal, they can hear the slightest sound. So in the same way, according to our qualification in this life, so whatever that you cultivate, whatever you develop, a special quality that you develop, accordingly we get that body in the next life. All right, and then there's somebody, it was said that if a person has a very strong taste for strong smell of perfume, they like to apply perfume on their body to have very fragrant smell. All right, so it is said they'll be born as deer in the Himalayas, because the deers as deer, because it is said that deers in Himalayas, they have something called fragrance, some nice fragrant perfume coming from its body. So they might get that kind of life. Okay, they will get a deer body which gives out good smell. So that's why we have to be careful of how we live our life, right? This is more like a detail of the transmigration which we covered in chapter 2. All right, Dehi nosmin yata dehi. Remember, while we change our body from baby to boyhood to youthhood to old age, similarly when we die, we are taking another body. And then we went on another verse saying that we shed bodies like how we change clothes. Okay, so like that, we enjoy a particular set of sense objects. This is transmigration, all right? This is just the detail of what we learned earlier. Okay, so this is the diagram. Actually, this one is false ego. Yeah, that's why I put here. All right, we want to shed that false ego. What is false ego? That we are the controller, we are the enjoyer. So we want to shed that. Okay, soul is here. This is the subtle body. And this is the gross body made up of the 5 elements. So remember, 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. Okay, so all right, any questions so far? The soul is eternal, all right? It is spiritual. It does not take birth, or it doesn't take birth, it doesn't die. All right, only this one destroys. All right, so what else? Okay, so that's it. 12 and 13, Sharmila Mataji.
Yadatityagatam tejo jagat vasaya krikiram yachandramasi ashchagnav tattejo vidhi mamakam gamavishacha bhutani Dharayaviyaham ojasa Ushnani chausadihi Sarvasomo bhutvat rasatmakaha. The splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of this whole world, comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of the fire are also from me. I enter into each planet, and by my energy, they stay in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay, remember our first section of this chapter was on cutting the tree of attachment with the weapon of detachment, sharpened by knowledge. And then we saw the transmigration, means based on the bondage, all right, we are transmigrating. So that is one knowledge. Okay, now Krishna is talking about his position. He's saying how he is maintaining the entire universe. Okay. All right, so first Krishna is saying he is the splendor of the sun. All right, the sun, we see it gives light every day. It gives light and heat. for many, many millions of years. It never ran out of battery or charge or power, never had blackout or power problem, always giving heat and light. So that, Krishna said, is coming from me. It comes from me. So if you don't have moon and sun, this place will be dark and it will be terrible. So he is illuminating the entire universe that way. He is declaring that it's coming from him. Next is fire. Fire is important for heat, warmth. We cook with fire, we eat. Fire also is used to create energy. All right, electricity all comes from Krishna as well. All right, so this is the basis for fire, the splendor of sun, basis of moon, basis of fire, all comes from Krishna. Okay, the next is very interesting. He says, I enter into each planet. All right, we know that as Paramatma, he entered all the living entities. There were places he said, I am in the sentient and non-sentient beings. I am in moving and non-moving beings. Now he's saying he's also entering each planet, and by my energy, they stay in orbit. They stay in the place. They float in space. Okay, what happens when we pick up some rocks or sand, right? Gangam, and then you open, what happens? All fall off. So we can't even keep some sand floating in this space. But Krishna keeps all the planets floating in space. Not only that, in its place, in its orbits. How? With his energy. Yesterday we learned about how he pervades the entire universe, how he maintains the entire universe with his energy, which is the Brahman, the energy. Okay, so here Krishna is saying, because of me, they stay in place. They don't change the orbit until they hit each other. I mean, we always hear they are saying the planets will, clashing or come in each other's way. Nothing happens. Krishna maintains that it is his energy. All right. And then finally he says, I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. All right. So moon gives special rays. Okay, say that it provides the juice in vegetables and make the food tasty. All right, so the vegetable gets the light from moon. All right, vegetables are important to us. So Krishna is maintaining us by giving varieties of vegetables with nice taste. All right, I supply the juice of life to all vegetables. Okay, so in chapter 10, Krishna has given so many things to remember. He remember all the chief and leaders of each group. Right, that doesn't mean he's not in the others, but it's how we remember him, looking at the chief of certain groups or living entities. Okay, so next time when we eat vegetable, then we can remember, oh, this juice is coming from moon and Krishna is providing that juice. You can think like that. Okay, next, 14. Oh my God. Who is it? Can you remember? Oh, Sharvin Rao. It's not been coming, I think. Okay. All right, I will read. Aham Vaishmanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashritah Pranapana Samayuktah Pachamyannam Chaturvidham. Annam means food. See my connection. All right. Okay. Here Krishna is telling that he is the digestive fire. All right, so now you can see how Krishna is outside and inside, how he is maintaining. Earlier he's maintaining all the planets, and then from moon he's providing the juice for the vegetable, and now he's helping us how to he's being the digestive fire. Point one is he's saying, I am the fire of digestion in the bodies of all living entities. All right, if we do not have good digestion, what will happen? We won't be able to eat or digest the food properly. We would not have appetite, good appetite. All right, so Krishna provides that fire of digestion so we can have a good appetite. And then the next point Krishna says, he provides he is the special air of life. And join with air of life, outgoing and incoming. air, breathing, right? To digest the 4 kinds of stuffs, 4 kinds of food stuff. What are those? Licked, chewed, swallowed, and sucked. These are the 4 kinds of food stuff. These are so detailed Krishna is giving. All right, so like this, Lord Krishna is arranging so many different ways to help us to digest our food. All right, so we can see how Lord Krishna is taking care of us, of the living entities. Just like a father is providing so much of, so many things for us. Okay, so we are hearing now how Krishna is providing us from Brahman potency, right? His pervasive potency. Now we will go into Paramatma. So everywhere you will see this term, Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. Okay, let's move on. 15:15, Tasvina Mataji.
Sarvashya chaham shruti sanivishto mata smite jnanamapojanam cha vedasya shasve aham evedo vedanta krita veda videvachaham. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am very compiler of Vedanta, and I am knower of the Vedas. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so you all are following, right? I'm giving that different ways Krishna is telling his position. So as Brahman, he is, with his energy, he's maintaining the entire universe. Remember the orbits, he's providing the light. This is Brahman potency. And then he's taking us into the realization of Paramatma, realizing Krishna in our heart. All right, this is where he is saying, I am seated in everyone's heart. Actually, he also said in so many parts in chapter 13, we had the whole few slokas about super soul. All right, so I am seated in everyone's heart. From me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. For some people, Krishna provides knowledge. He helps them to remember their something like, example like their past lives, who they are, why they are here. So in Bhagavatam, we have the story of Bharat Maharaj, okay, and Ajamil also they could remember. So they have their life. Those are the exceptions. All right, and then he helps them to understand also through knowledge. Also, now he's giving us knowledge. Why? Because he's helping us to remember who we are. All right, why we are here. What are we supposed to do? Where are we supposed to go? All right, this is how Krishna is giving knowledge. All right, so he gives remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Then sometimes from the heart, he will tell us, don't do this, don't do that. And when we are lost, because we don't want to speculate, we seek guidance. We seek guidance externally. And sometimes Krishna guides us as a Chaitya Guru. This is called Chaitya Guru, means Guru from the heart. Guru in the heart. All right, and for some people, he lets them forget everything about the past, about the suffering from the past, the problem they had before, so that they can enjoy continuously. All right, so that's what he's saying. Everything comes from him: remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. All right, when we are dedicated, when we are endeavoring sincerely, then he will allow us to remember. He will give us the knowledge. Remember in chapter 10, I will show special mercy through the torch of knowledge. So remember that. So this is similar, right? He is giving that because he is mentioning here as well. He's giving the knowledge. Yes, Mataji. Yes, sometimes heart say different, mind says something. Okay, mind is the strongest sense. That's why in chapter 10, Krishna will say, among the senses, I am mind. All right. So the mind is also your subtle body. All right. So it is not the pure state. This is where we need to seek guidance. We seek knowledge, right? Directly, Krishna is speaking in the Bhagavad Gita. Later on, chapter 16, we will learn about austerity of body, mind, and speech. 16 or 17. So you will get some ideas there. So you will know. Knowledge means what? Knowledge means knowing what is right, what is wrong, right? So we need to train the mind to see this. Remember the genie story. I think you were not here when we had the genie story. So the genie story is you have to keep the mind engaged in doing good things. If not, an idle mind is devil's workshop. Okay, so that is why in another place also Krishna says, he will say how a devotee engage their life in devotional service. They use their mind, they use their body, they use their intelligence. All right, so all this Krishna has said previously. Okay, so the next point here is the Vedas. All right, he's coming to the Vedas. All right, Vedas compiled, given by Krishna to Brahma, and then Vyasadeva compiled it. And who is Vyasadeva? What is his relation to Krishna? Anybody? Why he says this? Why he says compiler? Actually, the compiler is Vyasadeva. Why Krishna say I am the compiler? Anybody? Let's see. Anybody? Rasini Mataji, Sharmila Mataji. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who is Vyasadeva? Why is Supreme Swati Mataji? Meera Mataji?
Yeah, maybe
Why
for
Vyasadeva?
the Mahabharata, isn't it? Is it?
Sorry, Mataji?
I mean, is he the author of Mahabharata? I mean, he's the one who wrote Mahabharata.
Yeah, actually the author, yes, he's the compiler. He narrated and Lord Ganesh written down. And then, of course, Vyasadeva has written so many Vedas and Vedic scriptures. But why Krishna says that he is the compiler of Vedanta when the person who did it was Vyasadeva? I'm asking the connection. Anybody knows? I've mentioned this before.
I mean, he's a supreme God.
Mataji, is it because
How Mataji? How is he supreme God?
Mataji, is it because Bhagavad Gita is the theme of all the Vedas and it is
Tak juga.
law?
I mean, that's not wrong, but that's not what I'm looking for. What is the connection between Vyasadeva and Krishna? He is all. Yes. Okay. I know what you are saying, Suhashini Mataji. In chapter 10, Krishna will say, among the sages, I'm Vyasa.
Yes.
I think you're saying that. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
I-
Okay. Let me tell you. Vyasadeva is Krishna's incarnation. All right. So there are so many types of incarnation. Right? Purusha avatar, Guna avatar, Lila avatar, Yuga avatar. So like that, there will be lion also. So under the lion, Vyasadeva is the literary incarnation of Krishna. Literary incarnation. Literary means for literature, right? So Krishna gave the knowledge to Brahma. Brahma's student is Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva's student is Brahma's son is Narada Muni. Narada Muni's student is Vyasadeva. So the Lord himself compiled it. He is the literary incarnation of the Vedas. That's why Krishna says, indeed, I am the compiler of the Vedanta and I am to be known by the Vedas. I am the knower of the Vedas. I am the object of the Vedas. Elsewhere, he will say, I am the purpose of the Vedas. I am the goal of the Vedas. Like that. If you just Google, find out, langsung tak expect. Oh my God, I really thought I said it. That's why I'm so confident asking you all. Okay. All right, sorry. So yeah, it's a new thing. That's why you see Vyasadeva, all the pictures I've showed you, he'll be in blue. Oh, okay, so that's the clue. Even Sukadeva Goswami is also, he will be in blue as well. Vyasadeva is Sukadeva's son. He delivered the Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. Okay, so let's not go there. So come back to these Vedas. Krishna says, by all the Vedas, I am to be known. Meaning what? Purpose of studying the Veda is to know Krishna. Okay? All right. Thank you. All right, it's your blessings. All right. Okay, what else? Okay, Vedanta. Let me try to break this Vedanta. Veda means knowledge. Anta means end. What is the end of knowledge? The end of knowledge is to know Krishna. So that's another point here. Okay, so basically here Lord Krishna is describing how as Paramatma, he helps to maintain everything in the material world as Brahman, as Paramatma. Okay, again, I am making I would like to reinstate this. If we are dedicated, we will endeavor seriously, sincerely, he will allow us to remember. You will be surprised. Okay, so from him also we get forgetfulness. All right, it depends on our free will. If you want to enjoy forgetting Krishna, also he will give. If you want to understand him, he will give the knowledge. By that, I will give you the knowledge by which you come to me. He has said this also, which we covered also. Okay. All right. So when we read the Vedas, or if we happen to read all the Vedas, we will come back to the same conclusion. Okay. And we can also read Bhagavad Gita and come to the same conclusion. Okay. So all the sages have, all our previous acharyas have done the homework, and they have declared that this is the essence of all the Veda. This is the cream of the milk. Okay.
Sorry, Kasturi, Mataji Kasturi.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Is the forgetfulness, right? Can you explain that more? I mean, what do you mean by he will teach you how to forget? I mean, what is that actually? The forgetfulness.
Okay. Yeah. Krishna gives remembrance when we want to endeavor something sincerely. So that one is clear, right? He's giving us knowledge as well. Now, the forgetfulness, we are here, the living entities are here because we want to enjoy. So to give the full facility to enjoy, Krishna will give the forgetfulness. We will enjoy more when we forget our root. Our root is that we came from Krishna. So he will give that. It's totally opposite of what he said when he said that I will give you the understanding or knowledge by which you can come to me. And indirectly, here he say, I will also give you the forgetfulness so you can enjoy. All right, so Krishna is kind to everybody based on their free will. That's the point, Mataji.
Okay, thank you. I understand.
Yeah, okay, all right. Okay, so this is a summary of Vedanta Sutra. I'm bringing it in because I find these are very beautiful slokas. So just read it. Divya Mataji. Mataji, you're there? Okay, Mataji is not here. All right. Okay, there are two classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. So fallible means, you know, right? People tend to make mistakes. The infallible means people don't make mistakes. All right, so in material world, we are all infallible. We are fallible. All right, whereas on the contrary, in spiritual world, all the living entities are called infallible. And then Krishna says, besides these two, there is one more living personality, the Supreme Soul, the imperishable Lord himself, who has entered the three worlds and is maintaining them. He is above the fallible and infallible. All right, and then he speaks more about him, Purushottam. He's talking about that. I am transcendental, I'm beyond both the fallible and the infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as that Supreme Person. He was talking about that Supreme Person, and he says that I am that Supreme Person. Okay, so move to 15.19. Vaishnavi Mataji. Mataji, you can just read the translation because I want to speed up. Vaishnavi Mataji. Are you able to unmute?
Mataji?
Okay, can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you, Mataji. Carry on.
Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is the knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata.
Okay, thank you. All right, so here Krishna, here I will tell one story. Can you see this crow here? And this is palm. So one time there were a few people standing under this palm tree. All right, so there were palm fruits here, right? So suddenly one crow came and stood on tree, that one of the fruits, right? And then the fruits fell. So these people, you know what they were saying? Okay, the fruit fell because the bird landed on tree. Oh no, another person, no, the fruit fell because it's already ripe, it's time, so it fell. But along come one, while they were fighting, he took the palm fruit, he washed it, and he started eating. So which means we are not to be troubled by seeking where we came from, why we came here, you know, how long we here, not too much dwelling into seeking information on this. But what we need to do is, we need to get out. All right, one person is drowning in the water, and you wouldn't be, now we have people taking video and photo, right? But there's another example where they show that, oh, you actually shouldn't have done that. That's why you fell down. Oh, you should have taken this. No, the thing is, the problem is not how you fell. The thing is, you're already fallen there. You are drowning. So try to find a way to come out. So like that here, Krishna is saying, a person quickly wants to engage himself in full devotion service. All right, he wants to come out. This is the essence of this sloka. So very straightforward information from here. All right, that's why the picture is here. All right, so we want to come out. We don't want to think, oh, how he fell in water, or he shouldn't have done that, he shouldn't have this. All right, so now that we have knowledge, we want to get out of this material world. All right, 20, Amuda Mataji.
इति गुत्या तमं शास्त्रम् इदमुत्तममायनाः एदा भूत्वा बुद्धिमान् कृता कृतचास्पारदा. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures, O sinless one, and it's disclosed now by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you. So this word guhya we actually saw earlier. Raja Vitya, Raja Guhyam. Guhyam means most confidential, secret. Okay, so what is the practical application here is this: to understand the Purushottama Yoga, we have to be dwells in the house. Not only you, Mataji. Many people always ask question: did we fall from Vaikuntha planet? If you have gone to Vaikuntha planet, then why are we coming here? Or did we come from Krishna's pause? You know, there are so many information in the scriptures. All right, so we don't want to dwell into that. Okay, so when somebody is in the house on fire, we don't want to ask, oh, you shouldn't have done that. You did you do this? Did you do that? No, first get him out first. All right. Okay. And then Krishna mentioned this word here, O sinless one, meaning to come to the pure devotional level, to serve the Lord directly, we need to be sinless. All right. But to be sinless, what do we do? How do we become sinless? By taking up the devotional service itself. It is the means and it's also the goal. All right. Okay. So, like I mentioned, there are two types of devotional service. There is Bhava Bhakti and that is Sadhana Bhakti. To attain Bhava Bhakti, you have to do Sadhana Bhakti, which are the like waking up in the morning, chanting, hearing, listening, eating prasadam. These are all regulatory principles. So like that, we advance. All right. So whoever understands this will become wise and his endeavors will know perfection. So beautiful, Krishna put like this. So I am giving you this knowledge. Okay. So, okay. Yeah? So, all right. Oh yeah. Everyone must take to Krishna consciousness and devotional service to become intelligent and purified. That is where we can go to pure devotional service, Bhava Bhakti. Okay. That's the topmost, to serve the Lord directly. So now we are practicing. We are practicing first. Okay. These are all devotional service in practice. Okay. So that's the slokas for today. Actually, there's only 20 slokas. So almost all the slokas we covered, I think. Okay, sorry. Devaki Mataji, would you like to try?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, all right.
Samardauya satartam Vishnu Vismadauya najatuji Sarve vidini sedayu etayo reva kinkraha. One should always remember Vishnu and never forget him. All injunctions and prohibitions are based upon these two principles. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Perfect. Very good recitation. Okay. So all the Vedas, scriptures, all the philosophies, the two main substance is to always remember Vishnu and never forget him, or always remember Krishna, never forget him. It's the same thing. So if we do so many things technically, mechanically, and we cannot remember Krishna and we cannot never forget him, then it's a failure. All right. So all this knowledge should culminate only on this one. These two. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu means nectar of devotion. Bhakti Rasamrita, nectar. All right, Rupa Goswami. This is Haridas Thakur. Okay, so how to remember Krishna? Always chanting, always sing his stories, always speaking about him, always sharing about him to others. So that's how you can remember him. Always remember. Okay, so we started with a banyan tree. We want to cut this banyan tree of our material world with the weapon of detachment sharpened with knowledge. Then Krishna explained about transmigration. So here you can relate chapter 2. So when I say chapter 2, you all know, right? The soul and body, the science of the soul and body. All right, our consciousness goes on to another body, just like how air carries aroma. If it goes through a garden of roses, then it carries good fragrance. If it goes over a pool of garbage, then it will take very unpleasant smell along. Okay. Then Krishna spoke about how he maintains everything, like he's the splendor of the sun, the moon, and the fire. And then he maintains the planets on orbit, and he supplies juice of life to vegetables as moon. All right, and he also spoke about our food, our eating, sapadu, digestion, fire of digestion, Krishna. All right, and then Krishna say, remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness come from him, and he is the compiler and knower of the Vedas, and he is the object of the Vedas. Okay, so what does the summary of Vedas say? Summary of Vedas say that knowing Krishna, one by knowing Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, will engage in full devotional service. By doing that, okay, Krishna say, I have revealed you the confidential part of the Vedas, that by doing this, you will come to me. All right. So those who are wise, they will endeavor, and their endeavor will be perfect. Okay. I will bring this tomorrow, this Srila Prabhupada story, bring it tomorrow. Okay. So Srimad Bhagavatam, order Gita, please. And please, I think few more of you did not register your names, so ensure that you have given the right spelling of your name, everything, because that's how it will appear on your certificate. Okay, so now I will share the quiz. If you all have anything to chat with me, can stay. If you're confident that you can finish the quiz at your convenience, also can. Sometimes I forget our group name. Okay. Can do now. Jay Machi, Sita. Okay, sent already. Good luck.